Spiritual food for thought.
Welcome back to Spiritual Food for Thought as we continue this series about looking at the Sabbath and looking at verses or things that people say to try to justify not obeying the Sabbath. This is one that people sometimes appeal to. They say it's lawful to do good on the Sabbath. So let's take a look at that. And we'll look at it in context. I'm going to look at 3 different accounts from 3 of the different Gospels. And then I'm going to offer up some food for thought on it. So Matthew chapter 12, verses 9 to 13. And when he being Jesus, was departed thence, and went into their synagogue, and behold, there was a man which had his hand withered. And they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days, that they might accuse him? And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold of it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. Then he saith unto the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole, like the other. In Mark chapter 3, verses 1 to 5, we read this. And he being Jesus, entered into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him, whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, Stand forth. And he saith unto them, Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath day, or to do evil? To save life, or to kill? But they held their peace. And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored, whole as the other. And also in Luke chapter 6, verses 6 to 11, And it came to pass also on another Sabbath, that he being Jesus, entered into a synagogue and taught. And there was a man whose right hand was withered. And the scribes and Pharisees watched him whether he would heal on the Sabbath day, that they might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and he said to the man which had the withered hand, Rise up and stand forth in the midst. And he arose and stood forth. Then Jesus said unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it? And looking about upon them all, he said unto the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he did so, and his hand was restored, whole as the other. And they were filled with madness, and communed one with another what they might do to Jesus. So when people normally say, it's okay to do good on the Sabbath, the logical question then, so there's only 6 days a week that we can do evil on? Because somehow this 7th day, this Sabbath, must be holy. It's okay to do good things, I get it. But we should never be doing anything evil, not even for profit. Okay? I recently, I got a phone call earlier today, actually. The day I'm recording this is after sundown, after the Sabbath. And the guy I sometimes do work for was trying to have another man coax me into coming to work. And he knew what day it was. And he said, yeah, well, the ox fell in the pit. And I made the point, look, if we're going to say the ox fell in the pit as a way for me to justify making money today and going out and working a day so that I can get more money, I said, tell him there's other commandments I could break to make more money for my family. In fact, I could steal from him and I could rob him. And if I did that, I'd only have to break one commandment and I'd wind up with more money. Okay. Another good example would be that I could murder him. You could murder somebody for money. Another example would be you could lie to somebody. Say, hey, you owe me this much when you don't, and get more money and only break one commandment. Just like I wouldn't murder or lie or steal to get more money for my family, I'm also not going to profane the Sabbath day to get more money for my family. Interesting thing there If we look at what's said in Matthew, I want you to consider something. He says, "What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold of it and lift it out?" I'll give you a clue. That's not anyone's actual job. Okay? There is no sheep picker upper out of the pit. The point is, if an animal or something gets in trouble and you have to lift it out, lifting that animal out of that pit is not work. It's okay. It's okay to do good. In this case, he was doing that which nobody else could do. A man had a withered hand. It had been that way. And all he had to do was speak the word. And his words mixed with that man's faith made him whole. And he said, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong about showing compassion or showing mercy on the Sabbath. And that's why he was grieved, because of the hardness of their hearts. Nothing wrong with that. There are good things that are permissible to do on the Sabbath, but even that, if you look at what's actually said in Matthew, okay, this isn't said in the other ones, but in Matthew, they asked him, saying, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days?" They asked him this as a trick question in verse 10 to try to condemn him, but they asked him, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days?" My question to them would be, you show me. Show me the law of God. Show me where it says that this man could not do a miracle, that Jesus Christ could not do a miracle, that he couldn't come down here with power and capabilities that nobody else has and do a miracle on the Sabbath day. Show me that. Show me where it says you can't pick an ox out of a field. Or show me where it says you can't pick something and eat it, as the disciples were doing just before this in the Matthew 12, as we covered in the last video. Have you not read? Have you not read? There are things that are okay to do. If it's okay to do good on the Sabbath, and we're going to have the Sabbath be holy, we know that it's also never okay to do evil. So what he's saying is deeper than just, well, this is a day set apart for only doing good. You know, that's absurd to think. And whatever we may do that would cause us to work or cause somebody else to work, trust me, I can go in here and I can show you from the actual commandment of God where he says don't. He says don't. That's part of how he wants it to be, a set apart, holy, sanctified day unto him. Not just the Sabbath day of the Jews. They turned it into something different. But the Sabbath day of our Father, our God, our Creator, and our Savior, who is also the Lord of the Sabbath. Be blessed.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.